All right, well, hello, how are y'all doing? My name's Andrew Mirage. I'm a YouTuber like a lot of these other people, I guess. I'm starting the journey. I'm going to start doing like these longer videos and more structured talking videos so that way I can be more like relatable, I guess. I guess the reason for all of this is I've been posting a lot in my other social medias. And, I've been getting clients and I've been getting work, and I just want to expand out and just network more and help out more with the community and the people that I know. And if I could help with people outside the city, that'd be great. Or outside the country, even better, or however it works. Yeah, I'm Andrew Mirage. I'm a stuntman for film and television. I do acting, I guess. I also help out with action design, stunt safety, anything in the stunt department. That's really what I do. Um, yeah, I've been doing that for like 6 years now, union wise, and like 9 years non-union, so a little bit at some time. Um, I've been between two different cities. I started out in Toronto. It didn't really work out too well out there, but I just pursued it. It didn't really work out, but I trained everything I needed to out there, and then I came out to the West Coast here in Vancouver, and now I'm doing that here. So anyway, long story short, after that little introduction, who I am, what I do, I guess, I'm going to get into all like the notes and things that I want to talk about today, because I know a lot of people, especially my students and other aspiring performers and individuals in high performance, or individuals in just general like achievement mind state, I guess. Yeah, achievement mind state. Uh, just a couple notes to help you get through some tougher barriers and the harder times through your training and your processing. So yeah, I did the introduction. There we go. Yeah, so I'll just start off with like, yeah, I understand a couple hard things. I understand life could be rough, and my backstory kind of relates to like, like the Every Child Matters regime and theme. So, yeah, I'm an orphan. I was adopted. I'm from the Amazon rainforest. I was born in Bartica, Guyana, and from there, yeah, I was adopted, and I was adopted by my grandparents, Lillian and Bertram Bowman. They brought me over to Canada with their families, and yeah, it was tough from then, because I just had to work my way. I just had to live other people's lives and work my way through that. Okay, so that was a process in itself, right? So I'm not saying everybody's going through that in their own personal lives, but I understand like struggling up and fighting through, and being told to be silent and just stay in your place, and just, yeah. I had Caribbean parents, so, and they were Black, Chinese, and Indian mix. So I get it. I totally get it with a lot of you out there. So let's talk about some pointers. So that's just like a little thing that I wanted to tell you, because I understand the severities of like very serious mental health and the harsh punishments that we get up here from like the realities of other people's negligence and ridiculous consequences that didn't need to be so violently and aggressively executed. Let's move on. Let's get into the three topics. Or actually, wait, I just want to mention this. Against All Odds is a song that I love by Tupac. I don't know if a lot of you know who Tupac is. I'm showing my old head ways right now. But yeah, Against All Odds is a song that I really love by Tupac. And, I found him to be a very inspiring artist, right? So it was something that I realized when I was going through the film industry as a performer. First, it was acting, and that was damn near impossible. I realized like every single step was impossible. First, you weren't tall enough, you weren't fast enough, you weren't strong enough, your skin color wasn't this, you weren't that, and for the longest time I was pretending to be certain cultures, right? So finally making it and becoming a full union member in this industry, not being the desirable superhero type during the superhero great expansion, is something to really like really let you as an audience know that you could do it in the most ridiculous and impossible situations or scenarios for yourself. So I made it in the superhero culture, and I'm 5'5", 135 pounds, mixed culture. No superheroes, not a lot are mixed, and not a lot are built like that. So I made it in that culture as a stunt performer. So I was taking hits from those people. I was training superheroes. I was training superhero villains. I was training people on set. I was training, like, I worked on a lot of things. So, you know, like, if I could make it being this tiny little frame in an idolized film industry that loves the male model archetype, you guys could do anything. All right. So, I want to transition into this YouTube series, and it's inspired me, and I've thought it through a lot, and I believe the story is is a way to resonate with an audience, especially because a lot of you are either in an early phase of your career or you're developing up to your career. So let's get into like some notes about this. I got 3 notes actually. So, the first note I have to mention is you have to have an adaptability to navigate through change. And what do I mean by that? Life is completely unpredictable. So there's going to be financial shocks. There's going to be living situations. There's going to be relationship situations. A lot of relationship situations are going to affect how your course will flow. So you got to be mindful of your surroundings and be very spatially aware and socially aware of things happening around you. So that's one very important note that I wanted to make, which is very, very, very important. So you want to make sure that you are not neglecting the important things around you, right? Like, just because you may have been neglected in your life and you may have experienced some abandonment, it doesn't mean that you have to do that in certain social situations, and be very mindful of what's going on, right? Like, a lot of the gigs that I've booked in my life, I was listening into other people's conversations. You have to eavesdrop in other people's conversations. Whether it sounds rude or not, you have 2 ears and you have 1 mouth, right? So when you're in social situations, do a lot of listening. Do a lot of listening. Don't tune people out, because there's been times where I've been at an all-you-could-eat buffet with a bunch of film people, and one person over here is talking about, we need a stunt safety guy for this project. And another person's over here and they're talking about, we need a fight guy for another project. So right there, boom, I just won 2. Whether I book those 2 opportunities or not, if I go and meet those people and talk with them and collaborate, usually 9 times out of 10, I end up booking those 2 things, because I'm in that moment, I'm in that situation, I have the confidence to do it, and I'm socially aware of that moment. So be socially aware of your surroundings, and you're spatially aware of your situations. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. That's our first note. The second note, in the adaptability, so we're not on point form number 2. We're still on point form number 1, which is adaptability, navigate through change. So the second note for navigate through change is share how you've adapted. Sorry, I'm reading my notes. I'm so bad. Share how you adapted to new environments and circumstances, focusing on survival, learning from experiences, and finding new opportunities to grow. So what do I mean by that? Bro, you've already, and sis, or whoever, you've already lived an abundant life. Like, you're already here in this conversation with me, and you already are coherent enough to understand and comprehend and take in that information. And you're smart enough to be aware and build stuff, right? Like, you wouldn't be here with me if you weren't. With that said, use your environment, build things in your environment, make things happen. Focus on the circumstances, and so focus on how to survive in those situations. So what do I mean by that? So I help out a lot of new fight performers, a lot of new stunt fighters, and a lot of new stunt actors, and a lot of actors that want to do action, a lot of directors that want to do action. So what I'm saying by that is, they all want to get into this, and they think it's this crazy Jackie Chan scene, but it's not. This is literally their first time going to camera and doing this sequence of events. We'd have a rehearsal day probably prior, maybe 2 hours prior. Usually, ideally, like to function like that. And then we'll go through the sequence of events of the action that transpires. Now, with that said, a lot of times these actors or performers are proficient with weapons, or they're not. They're proficient hand to hand. They're not. They're proficient with cinematography. They understand camera movement. They understand delivery. They understand acting beats. They understand whatever cinematic contributions that are necessary to the scene to enhance it. They have that talent and ability. But I'm there to either enhance the situation or make them look good. It's the same thing. There's not an A and B. Sorry. With that said, if I'm with an actor, so the other day I was with an actor, terrible with knives. Terrible. I'm not going to say his name or what the situation is, but he was like a D grade type of knife performer. But he moved really well freehand, and he understood the whole science of cinematography and being a great hero. With that said, I only reduced down his knife sequence. It was supposed to be 20 beats. I reduced it down to 5. It was just boom, 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 disarm, stab buddy in the chest, look over, slice, slice, done. And with that said, I might even show a little bit of the clip after this because, it turned out really good. And sorry to say that you're a D-reel performer. You're a newer guy. Sorry, you're a newer performer, and I know you're going to really excel in this business. So I'm just very harsh with my students. If you're a D performer or an E performer or an F performer or an A performer, I'll let you know, and if you want to go to camera and you want to show this type of stuff to coordinators or casting directors, that's my job to make sure that you look damn good. So that's just something to keep in mind. Practice tip, focus on what you can control. Take small steps every day to improve your situation, and it'll start showing up. So with that said, let's go back to that situation with the performer that I had that wasn't really the greatest with the knife, but he was amazing with everything else, right? We practiced the small things. I was delegating and watching his development for almost a year now, since January, when I first met him at another club. And that's when I knew, bro, you move really well. Let's work on improving your footwork, improving your timing, improving your shapes. He improved so much. I could show you before and after, but I'd rather just show you guys the after. So that's just closing out that whole note. So just the adaptability to learn, navigate, and change. Very important. Let's move on to point number 2. Resilience and keep moving forwards. No matter what, you keep moving forwards. A lot of people say, when you fall back and you get back up. Fuck that shit. When you fall forwards. Because if you fall forwards, you could roll forward sometimes and end up tumbling 20 feet away in the right direction you need to. If you fall forwards, that means you're going in the right direction. If you fall backwards, now you have to travel the distance of the falling back you just came from. Don't fall backwards. Okay, with that said, I try not to get in the habit of falling backwards. It's just not a good thing. You've shown the resilience. Does it require perfected planning? Is it about getting back up every time you fall? Yeah, you have to get back up. It's not an option. You get back up. You're going to live the next day. You're going to go through high times and low times. Depression's going to happen. Anxiety's going to kill you. But the next day is going to happen. And as long as you stick to your guns, you'll get it, okay? So the actors know this because you guys keep on pumping out auditions. Stunt guys, you know this because you keep on showing up to the gyms and killing it. And everybody else in film, you already know this because you show up on set and you practice your craft in your departments. Share how you kept pushing through rejection, setbacks, isolation, eventually carved a unique path into the film industry. So how I got through is I ended up finding members of the Jackie Chan stunt team in Toronto. So there was certain guys that Jackie Chan beat up on camera in Vancouver, and they eventually ended up opening up their own clubs, their own gyms in Toronto. So I found these guys, and I went out and I trained my ass off for 4 years at all these different clubs, and eventually it narrowed down to one particular one, and that's when I stayed there. From the 4 years it turned to 7, and in that 3 years, I ended up being an assistant coach, and they eventually certified me, and all this cool stuff really started to happen. So that's one plus thing, is if you stick to your guns and you show the people that are in your field of business that you're passionate about what you do, they'll respect it. After you go through their screening process, because you're always going through a screening process. You know what I mean? There's a probation period for a job. There's a screening process for business. You just got to go through it. It sucks. We all got to go through it. We all got to start off cleaning the toilets, mopping the floors, doing all that stuff. I had to do it, you know, and that's how I started. That's how I got my lessons. I couldn't afford lessons when I was a kid. I had to clean bathrooms to get free lessons to stay off the street. So with that said, that's a big tip. Think about the people you want to meet, the businesses you want to affiliate yourself with, find out the big bosses to them, show them you're passionate in that field of business, and just get going. Like, don't waste your time with anything else. Show them you're serious about it. Show them you have time. Show them you have resources, and show them you have commitment. There's nothing else that matters. And if you're super professional about it, it helps a lot. Show up like 20 minutes early. Pack your own snacks. Try not to ask too many questions. Don't be a bug to people. Practical tip, don't overthink. And next step, just take it. Progress is more important than perfection. And that's something that I really want to stress is a lot of people, well, now that I'm a full union guy, I got to make sure that all the stuff that I pump out is like professional. But when I was newer and I was up and coming, I was pumping out anything I could, right? Like I had to collaborate with everybody. I was collaborating with models, I was collaborating with yogis, I was collaborating with circus performers, I was collaborating with breakdancers, street performers, superhero party event holders, everybody and anybody I was collaborating with. I made it happen. I made sure that phone rang. You know what I mean? I'm in the field of entertainment. I want to be a stuntman. I want to be an actor. Well, I better have the skills of what stunt guys have that are retired performers, and I better be affiliating myself with that and doing what they do. So if you're in a business like, I don't know, say for instance, you want to be a seamstress and you want to create like the best ribbons ever in a dress or a blouse or a coat, you'll affiliate yourself with the best tailors and seamstresses in the community and the businesses that are top notch, and you'll show them how serious you are, right? You'll create a portfolio and you'll show them, this is what I have, this is who I am, this is me as a professional, right? That was the hardest lesson I had to learn, and I didn't learn it until like 36, is being a professional. Yeah, being a full union member really slapped a lot of sense into me, but getting to that point, like, you know what I mean? It was all these little struggles, but all these little struggles matter. They matter, and they suck, and I hate them, and you hate them. I know you hate them, but they do matter, okay? So we're going to go on our third, final point. I know this is a long video. It's 17 minutes long. You're like, God, Andrew, you can't shut up. I'm almost done, okay? So last is purpose. Find your way, okay? Even when you didn't fully understand it yourself, something drove you to keep going. Reflect on what that is. Whether it was proving something to yourself or fulfilling something in your work. Okay, so I knew that I had an incredible talent for understanding biomechanics, kinesiology, human movement, and the way that action design and how a camera lens could follow that. But I didn't know that 20 years ago. I just thought I was a really good action actor, which wasn't right. I was a really good stuntman. And I had to work on acting, and I had to work on camera, and I had to work on everything else, right? So, reflect on everything in your environment. Remember when I said earlier about like social cues and social awareness? All that is a part of the factor. Like you want to be fully aware of not only like how everything is functioning around you, but like who's functioning what, and a little bit on how each thing operates, so that way in the event that you have to interact with it, you aren't like speaking Spanish and they're speaking German. Okay. Encourage viewers to find a purpose, no matter how small, to guide them through times. Ask yourself, what am I fighting for? So this is what I asked myself when I started. I was like, what am I fighting for? At the end of the day, guys, like the whole point of me making this video and the reason why I'm starting this YouTube series and why I believe in social media and the whole movement of the future and the youth is, I just want a house, man. I just want one day to be able to buy a house, to be able to buy some property or have a place I call my home. I've been renting goddamn apartments for rooms for like 30 years now, man. Like, bro, I just want a home, man. In this crazy economy, I just want a home. That's why I'm doing these videos, man. If I could help you get cast as a lead in the biggest show in the next series, if I could help you get your CEO contract, if I could help you get whatever, become a professional athlete on your team that you've always dreamt on being on, that makes me happy, because then YouTube would make me happy, because then I can buy a home. You know what I mean? I've been homeless for a long time. And yeah, I've been homeless on the streets too for a long time. So this is the whole point of the video, man. I'm going to go through the 3 points one more time, because I know probably I rambled on for a long, long time. They said, hey, Andrew, we love it when you talk. So I guess I spoke. Remember, 3 points. The adaptability, learn and navigate through change. Okay. Adaptability, learn, navigate through change. Simple as that. Be aware of everything around you and just change a bit. You don't have to change completely. I had to cut my hair. The second I cut my hair, the second I got rid of my dreads and my long braids and all that curly Jerry curl stuff, bro, I started booking. But that was for my particular look. Resilience, keep moving forwards. Remember, fall forwards, don't fall back. If you fall back, you got to stand all the way up. That's distance to come all the way. Look at it. If you fall back, you got to come all the way back up just to go from standing again and then just to start forward. If you had just fallen forwards, standing up, you're already forwards. You know what I mean? Like even that example, you see that? See that? Okay. And then also purpose, find a why. Why do you have a reason for all this? And you know what this reason is, bro. You want to be the most amazing thing on this planet. That's it. You want to be the most amazing thing to yourself. You owe it to yourself. I know I owe it to me. That's why I'm doing this. So, yeah. By the way, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, subscribe if you can. I'm really trying to do this YouTube thing. And I hope this is the most personal video I've given. And if you guys really want to, if you need private lessons and coaching, martial arts, artistic gymnastics, parkour, tricking, stunts, whatever it is, acting, a little bit of whatever, feel free to DM me or shoot me a message. I'm totally a chill guy. I'm not gonna like freak out or anything. So yeah, and thank you to all the students and all the communities and all the clubs and all the businesses that have helped me this past whole year. It's been absolutely amazing. I love each and every one of you, and I am so grateful, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to the Union ACTRA. Thank you to UBCP Canada. Thank you for all the opportunities. Thank you to everybody. It was a very difficult 2 years, and in the next upcoming videos, I'll be describing about how difficult those years have been, but we're going to make it through together, and I'd love for you guys to be there at the finish line with me. And when I do buy a house for YouTube, or if I ever do, I guess, with your help, of course, I'll throw a party. I'll have you guys come by. So, please help out. Like, subscribe, follow the channel, and I'll be coming out with more videos of AI content, AI art content, I guess just random training videos, and just old videos of me on set. I know a lot of people love those old videos on set. So thank you. I love you. Happy holidays. Happy 2025. Be good. Be safe. Yeah. I did my first videos.